Hi everybody, welcome to Love Island Australia, officially Unpacked. I'm your friendly neighbourhood narrator, Owen, and after one of the most epic fire pits in Love Island Australia history, 3 of the women at the centre of all the action will be with us today to talk about their respective stories, who they love, who they hate, who they forgive, who they won't. It's all going on. We've got Gabby, Yana and Jade, so strap yourselves in.
Love Island Australia, the podcast.
All right, everybody, excited and delighted now to be joined by 2 of Love Island Australia's brightest starlets. It's only Yana and Gabby! Woo! I don't know if starlet, like, you know the way, like, it used to say actress, but now you have to say actor regardless if it's male or female. I don't know if starlet is like that, if I should have called you stars.
I love that name.
That's starlet.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've always said I want to name my daughter that. Oh my God, but someone might use that now.
You want to name your daughter Starlet?
Yeah, I've said that my whole life.
That's cute.
Yeah.
You didn't just think of that at this moment, like
no,
that's an actual thing.
No, like it's literally in my baby names, like Star for short. Starlet.
That's very cute.
Like Scarlet, but
that's
Star.
actually so cute.
Yeah. So that's funny.
What would you name your kids? Do you have like a short list?
Yeah.
You
Go on.
can't tell them.
Or do you
they'll
not want
use
to put it
it.
out to the universe? Okay.
I do have a few names though.
Okay, good. Guys, you're so welcome. It's lovely to see you. Well, a couple of things I want to nip this in the bud because I met you downstairs before we came in.
Yeah.
I went up to say hello. Yana, the first thing she says was, nice to meet you.
No,
and I was like,
I meant
Yana,
nice
you were on
to
the
see
podcast
you."
2 weeks ago. I'm like, that unmemorable.
I just woke up. Give me a second.
Yeah, fair
It's still
enough.
early.
And then Gabby was, you're going to grill me today. And I'm like, Gabby, it's 60 minutes Australia.
No, I said, are you going to grill me today? Not like that.
Okay, yeah, maybe a bit like that. But it's we had Caro, who's the kind of casting director for Love Island, that I'm sure you've met.
Yeah. She's so lovely.
She was on the pod recently and we were talking about our favourite Islanders. And I said my all-time favourite Islander, now this is like, 7 years ago? So I don't know what age you go. Did you see season 1 of Love Island?
I've seen season 1 and season 6.
Cassidy. Remember Cassidy,
yes.
season 1?
Yeah.
My all-time
Yeah.
favourite Islander.
She's with she was with my management. We go to events together. She's so sweet. She's
Yeah.
such a cool chick.
She's awesome, but I loved her because on the show she was absolute chaos.
Yeah.
And she split the room. But that's what the show is and it's what it needs. So I understand you are, maybe, because I know you are a magnet at the moment for huge opinions, but without it, the show is boring.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I'm such a fan of you on the show, and you were like, oh, you're just going to compliment me and then hit me with all our questions. But I sincerely mean it. We need it, or else the show is
TV.
just whatever.
Great TV, yeah.
But also I know it's like your real life. So
100%.
I do want to talk about what's been going on, but just because I want to hear what you think.
Yeah. I mean, what do you want to know?
Okay, let's kind of start where we are now and maybe work backwards a little bit. So when Jotham was at the fire pit after he walks back in with Jade, what he kind of said to you in justification, you're having your moment, and he said he always felt he was inadvertently, he didn't mean to, but he just kept on putting his foot in it and he was upsetting you. And then you would have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Looking back at your journey, do you see what he meant?
Yeah, I think watching the series back, I can see what he meant, but context is a big thing and there's a lot of context missing. I think he sort of set the tone. I was definitely falling for him and just he was seeing a softer side to me. And then I think that watching him do those speed double dates where he said those things about me, I think that just something in me switched. And, every bombshell that came in, he was definitely really getting to know them all in front of me. And a lot of that isn't shown. And that's sort of where my I guess you could say crazy side starts to come out.
I think a lot of it's past trauma as well. You've had heaps of trust issues in the past with past relationships, and so I think that just triggered her into thinking, oh my gosh, maybe he doesn't want me.
And I think I actually was genuinely really starting to fall for him. So then to see him be well, I want to get to know the new girls and this and that. And I was just all I want is you, And then, we had the double dates outside.
So can I just run back? You said when you saw him on the dates and the things that he said, what were the things specifically?
He was sort of just saying she's not really my type, not someone I would date on the outside. And for me, I was just
But do you when everyone comes in, literally the first question, bombshell, male, female, it's what's your type? What's your type? And if people do actually have a type, You seem to have taken that as an insult, whereas...
No, but the point isn't his comments. The point is, like, I watched him speak openly to these girls he'd met 10 seconds ago about me, whereas he'd never had that conversation with me. So it's not necessarily the comments, it's about him going to other females that I don't even know about me, when he wasn't telling things to my face, but he was telling everyone else. So I was constantly blindsided by, like, his behaviour or the things he was saying. But, you know, I'm not a perfect human being. Like, I haven't handled things properly. Like, I know that, but it wasn't the comments because, yeah, I know off the bat, like, I wasn't like, oh my God, like, you know, we did get to know each other and that did grow. But I think it's more seeing him, he didn't know I was watching him date and he could say all these things about me, you know? So it's more that for me. It was like a trust thing, like, oh, like he's feeling a type of way and going to other people that he's just met and not me. And I think it really showed me that, like, there's things he's not telling me about how he feels, you know?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Can I read you? I've got 2 comments here from the fire pit.
Oh, God.
One is totally on your side, and the other one is, I guess, more on Jotham's side. So he comes back in with Jade, and you know, you react accordingly. And this is from the Love Island Instagram account. One says, "How is Gabby the bad guy here? Like, come on. Her reaction was valid. She's been with the guy from the start, and he said he wouldn't do that to her, and he did." And then someone says, Gabby was always looking down on Jotham, and the girl pushed him into another girl's arms with her attitude.
Okay, babe. I mean, I think you guys definitely see the drama and the chaos and my, like, craziest, most vulnerable side. I don't think you see, like, me being a lover girl with him. Like, we were so locked in.
Yeah,
like,
they were definitely very
I think the
locked
whole
up.
villa was so shocked by him coming in with another girl.
What, Yana, were you and everyone else shocked?
They didn't show it, but when Jotham and Jade walked in, I was in tears of laughter. I was like, this is not real.
Tears of laughter?
Everyone couldn't believe it. Everyone was like,
something for me, like, when I'm put in a, like, vulnerable or nervous position, sometimes I laugh about it, like, or I'll be smiling because I'm just like, I don't know, it's a coping mechanism, I think, but I couldn't stop laughing when Jotham walked through those doors with Jade because I was like, this is not real. Like, Gabby and Jotham have been so loved up for weeks and he's just gone to a hotel and bring back another girl. And
like 24 hours ago. That's why we were all like, wait, what?
Sorry, before we jump on, is that, so would you have said that both Gabby and Jotham, from what everyone saw, what you saw, you're like, they are in it. They are a legit strong couple.
Well, I thought they were going to win it. Like, I was like, this couple is locked in. I thought that they were going to go to the end together. They were so locked in.
I think that's what a lot of people in the villa did say. Obviously, you only see our fights. You don't see us, like, actually...
Yeah, because obviously they want the drama and people want to watch the drama, but the loved up stuff like Connor Bell and his... Connor Bell?
Everyone's calling them Connie Belly, yeah.
Connor Bell is like Love Island Australia's Nicola Andrea. Let's take it. Connor Bell,
literally.
Izzy and Connor, like, they were so loved up and obviously they didn't get much screen time while they were like that. And
Gabby was stealing it with all the drama.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm chaotic. I'm erratic, so...
Well, you had your fair share of drama as well, so the both of you are responsible.
Geez.
Yeah, we're definitely responsible for it.
You said, I think after the fire pit, possibly to the girls, you said, or maybe to Jotham, but anyway, you said you felt Jotham had played you from the start.
Yeah.
Do you actually think it was like a game plan, or just that at the point you were at in your relationship, he just said, I think maybe this just works better? Or do you think he played you?
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a game for him. I think he was playing it safe with me, and I think he felt a lot of things that he wasn't telling me, and that's why, because I was trying to be like, you know, I wanted commitment. Like, I was like, what's next for us? But he wasn't giving that to me, and that's why I had such an intuitive gut feeling about him deep down. And I think that's why when he went to Hotel Amor, like, I had the worst anxiety. Like, I couldn't sleep. Like, I was out the room at night, like, you know, talking with some of the staff because I was just like, I had a gut feeling. And, you know, a girl's gut never lies.
I guess if Jotham was here now, he might say, you're looking for this, like, you know, reassurance or commitment or whatever. And he might say, I couldn't give that because of the fights that we kept having. Like, one example that really split the room, and there were definitely people on your side, so this is not a pile-on, but you know, when you walked in and he's with Matteo and Mia in Boston, and Mia's talking about like her sex drive being out of control, and he made the joke, he was like, oh, you come here, mama's not finished, and everyone kind of laughed, right? But when I saw that, I just thought it was funny. And then you walked in and you heard what was going on, and then you pulled him and you were like, look, that was gutter talk, and you were really angry. And I saw someone online making the point that was like, if that had been Sharon and Tamara, and Sharon was talking about her sex drive, and Jotham had made that joke, you would have laughed along with it.
Okay, so I want to preface by saying, when I walked in, I had no idea Matteo was there, because Matteo wasn't really speaking, so I thought it was just Jotham and, you know, the two girls. Mind you, the day before we'd all gone out the villa, and I watched him and Mia be all over each other. So that's where these emotions sort of stemmed from. I totally respect people's comments online saying like, oh, like, you know, who cares? Like, that's your boundaries, but my boundaries in a relationship is I don't want my man or the guy I'm seeing having those conversations with a girl that, you know, has expressed that she likes him. And like, that's fair enough. Like, that's my boundaries. Yana might have different boundaries. Like, just because
I think Yana does have different boundaries. We'll come to that.
Oh, yeah, no, I think...
That was a joke, Yana. I thought I would get a laugh.
I'll cry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That was a joke.
It's okay.
I'm sorry.
Yanni. But yeah, I just think that it's okay for different people to have different boundaries, and just because I'm on a TV show doesn't mean everyone has to agree with me. Like, I'm allowed to be a human and have different boundaries. So I think, yeah, people can say what they want, like, their opinions of me are none of my business.
No, but actually that's why I think these podcasts are great, because that's interesting. Because when I saw that comment going, oh come on, if it was Sharon and Tamara, she wouldn't have cared, and I was like, yeah. But then when you talk here and you go, no, but Mia said she liked him, and they're sitting, I was like, oh yeah, I understand.
I also think what wasn't shown was, I was so upset by that conversation because he was saying like, yeah, I'm being a good boy, I'm not, you know, having sex in the villa, but we were so locked in that naturally when you do like someone, you have sex. So that made me feel like it is going to make you feel a type of way. Like, I felt unwanted. I felt like, I get it, like there's cameras everywhere, there's certain things that you aren't going to do and say, but that was the actual root of the conversation that upset me, which I think isn't shown. And again, it wasn't about anyone else. It stems down to me and his relationship and just like the cracks in it, you know?
Yeah. Jotham said in the beach hut after your chat kind of post fire pit, when you come up to him and Jade, he said before the date, and this is, I assume he meant Hotel Amor, we were at a crossroads. There was so much I wanted to say. Unfortunately, I never got the opportunity. Looking back, like, do you accept that you guys were rocky? Like, even if you were like, I want this to work, I like him. But do you see kind of the cracks that everyone was talking about?
Yeah, 100%. But like, my point was just like, oh, you don't see the good stuff, you only see the bad stuff. But yeah, I mean, like, I hold my hands up, I take full accountability. Like, I could have handled situations differently, but I think like my point was just like, no one acts crazy for no reason. I mean, like, maybe me sometimes, but like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm not perfect. Like, I'm a passionate girl with big emotions, and I think, yeah, all along that was just way too much for him. But I'm not gonna like change for anyone, because I think, you know, he was saying like, oh, I started seeing like these changes in her and, you know, a softer side and this and that. And like, I felt like I was vulnerable and opening up to him, and he was seeing a softer side, but that's also not me. Like, I'm always the loudest in the room. I'm always like the crazy one. I'm always like the chaotic one. Like, and yeah, looking back, I'm like, we're just really not compatible.
Yeah, I guess that was kind of my next question, because, you know, I know you've got opinions on things and he's got opinions, and he was flirting with me and you didn't see that, and all these things, and obviously you brought Jade back. But like, is there a space in your head where you go, just sometimes what two people bring to the table together doesn't make the perfect whole? Like, it's nobody's
100%,
fault, it just wasn't right.
Like, you know, he wasn't giving me commitment and reassurance, and I was just way too much, and I was going a bit batshit crazy because he wasn't giving that to me. So that together is just like a mess. Like,
especially when you're in such a heated environment.
Yeah, like
Gabby doesn't have
pressure.
anywhere to run. She doesn't like anyone else in there, so she's going to keep going back to Jotham and keep trying to work things out. So I think when Jotham walked in with Jade, she obviously lost it, because
she's very heightened
there's nowhere
emotions.
you can run. There's literally, you can't go anywhere, so she's freaking out.
Yeah.
I think
Look,
no one understands unless you've been put in that environment.
No, like
how
I
full
don't
on it
think
is.
I've ever said the word gronk in my life, and all I'm hearing is effing gronk this, and I'm like,
Well, I think
oh
what's
my
worse
God,
is I
what
think
came
that
over me?
I think Jotham is going to hear gronk quite a lot because I've seen it written so many times. Because that's not actually maybe in Australia it's a super common word, but it's my first time ever. It's my first time ever hearing it. And I had to ask Jotham last week. Did you see that? I was like, "What's a gronk?"
Just like a pitiful person, like.
Hey, so when he comes back in and so Yana is laughing but out of shock and everyone's like, oh my God. So the general consensus was people were confident he was going to come back to you.
Yeah. Like after it, everyone was like, he's a fuckboy. Like that was like shock of the century. Like we were all like, you know, like it was a big shock to everyone.
Yeah, I was definitely shocked. Like when he walked through, I was like, no, this is not real.
No, because I remember like that, what is it called? The Tunnel of Love goes for so long and I could not look. And then I just remember seeing everyone's face and Yana goes, no, Gabs, this isn't good. And then that's when I looked and I was like started smiling and you see my face just drop and I'm like my
so sad.
Stomach and heart fell out my asshole. Like it was just like so, like that was like the worst feeling. No, like I could actually cry. It was like, watching it back actually feels traumatic for me. Like it was
our eyes out watching it back.
And like up there, like I just had so many things going through my head. Like like took everything in me not to cry. Like I was trying so hard to be strong. I was like, I'm not gonna cry standing up next to him. So gronk came out my mouth 5 times instead. Like.
Do you kind of go, because obviously, yeah, it's an overwhelming emotion if you're into him as much as you were. When you look back at the fire pit, are you happy with how you handle it? No, because no,
I
but
think
like,
she'd do it 100 times over.
Yeah,
genuine, because
like,
to be honest, I was expecting more. I thought you were going to melt down. I was like, she could throw a punch here.
Oh my God, like the thing is, yeah, I'm like, Gabby, I'm crazy, I'm chaotic. Like, I think everyone didn't expect anything less. And I think once the night was over, everyone was sort of like, oh, well, you handled that well. We thought it was going to be so much worse. But I mean, like, can a girl not have a crash out feeling? Like,
oh no, but nobody, I don't think anyone would deny you the crash out. I genuinely thought you were going to go harder. I was like, oh, fair enough, she reined it in. Like.
To be fair, we all did say that. We were like, oh, we thought you were going to go, like,
no,
crazier.
I was like...
Like, we thought the hoops would be flying. We thought hands would be going, like,
yeah,
all of the above. But I think she handled herself really well for
I think
the
I was
person that
like...
she is.
Yeah, big emotions, but I think that I was so hurt that I was like, if anything I do, I'm just going to cry. Like, I can't, like, I was so, like, so vulnerable and, yeah, it was just a lot to watch it back. And, I mean, love me or hate me, they're all talking about my crash out, so...
Hey, no such thing as bad publicity is what I say. A couple of days before, when he was in Hotel Amor and you were chatting with the girls, you were like, oh, I picture myself in the delivery room birthing Jotham's child.
Oh, that is still my favourite line of Gab's. She did not say it once. I think she said it about 3 times that day.
Yeah, I said it a few times.
Yeah, she would consistently say it. And this is why, again, I think we were all so shocked because we were like, no way.
Because we were always talking about...
Were your feelings like that strong? Was that kind of just like taking the mick?
She was genuinely... And I think, obviously, like... I mean, it happens to me as well. Like, when someone goes away and you're not with them for a while, you start creating all this delusion in your head.
We were going insane together.
Even more because you just...
Absence makes the heart grow fonder, all that, yeah.
Exactly. So I think she was putting all of this stuff in her head.
But you've got to, like, honestly... Everyone in my life doesn't take me too seriously. Like, that's a very normal thing to come out of my mouth. So I think it was serious in the moment, but looking back, I'm like, oh, that's just another one-liner of mine. Like, yeah. You
also said in the chat with Yana and Tamara as well, and it was kind of jokey. You were like, oh, I'm starting to think I'm the problem. This is when he was gone, right? And the girls kind of look at you, and again, it was kind of playful, but they were like, yeah, you reckon? It was almost
at least I'm honest. Like, one thing about me is I just say it how it is. Like, I was open about that in there. I was like, oh, guys, like, he's handling my 10 personalities so well. Maybe I am the problem. Like, it's okay to be real and honest and crazy at the same time. Like, I think I was all of the above, so...
when Mia, I think I made a joke about this because last time Yana was on the podcast, you were here for something else.
Yeah.
And I met you and I was like, oh, it's so exciting, Gabby, because I don't get to meet the Islanders that often in real life. And you were like, oh, I liked you until yesterday.
Yeah.
And this is, I think the joke was basically because when Mia told you she wanted to get to know Jotham, she did in her telling you that was like, but he said he was in awe of you. And he did say those words. He's like, I'm in awe of Gabby.
Oh, sure.
But you really lost your temper at Mia and at Jotham, and I kind of made a joke about that. And when you look back at that, do you still think that anger was like warranted? Does that go back to what you said? He was like playing you a bit, like he's trying to tell you what you wanted to hear.
I didn't have any anger towards Mia. Like I remember just being like, I'm not gonna let her know that I didn't know this information, because she was just like, you know, he said he's like open to getting to know me, and I was just like, oh, okay. So that's why I went up to him and I was like, is this true? But yeah, I think I was just crashing out a bit. Like honestly, I was just like saying how I felt, like, you know.
From what we saw, you had one chat with Jaide and you kind of said to her, look, this guy is an F-boy and he'll tell you what you want to hear, and she kind of shut you down. She was like, I'll decide that for myself, thank you. And that's pretty much where the chat ended. Did you have any further chats with Jaide, or like was there any kind of relationship? No, I don't think we really spoke
at all. I think I was just so hypersensitive and emotional, and I think I was just sort of in that conversation looking for, like, I don't know, maybe for her to be like a little bit emotional, like, you know, and that's fine. Like she came in, she did her thing, but yeah, I think that we just went our separate ways, and that was her man from there. So I was just like, I've just got to deal with my emotions and move forward, being in the same like house as all of them. So
yeah, okay. Let's circle back a little bit because we've been on the Gabby train. What did you think was going to happen with Kye? Were you expecting him to come back solo? Like, regardless of what happened, and we didn't know that at that point, or were you worried for Yana?
Well, see, the crazy thing is, I don't think you see how obsessed Kye is with Yana. Like, Kye would sit there on lunch breaks and just like tell me all about Yana and just speak so highly about her. And Yana was the one that really had her walls up when Kye came in, and when, you know, they were sort of opening themselves up to the idea of being back together and those sort of things. So, you know, I was like going batshit crazy in the villa, like my best friend's gone, and then Kye was my other best friend, he's gone too, and I was just like, no, like Kye's gonna, you know, be loyal. And I was like, maybe Yana will, like I convinced myself. Convinced myself. I was like, she owes it to herself. Like maybe she will, like she's had her walls up with Kye. But you really don't see that side of things. You really don't see the way Kye was just like.
And I think as well, because Gabby, like, they all knew that I had previously messaged Dylan, or Dylan and I had previously messaged.
Oh, can we clarify this? So he was in your DMs and he said on the show that he invited you over to his place.
Yeah, so this is what happened. So it was probably, I don't know, like a couple weeks or so, or like a week after I broke up with Kye, I got a message from Dylan, and his first message, and I went back and checked the screenshots because I had them, and the first message was, I see you, with like two googly eyes. And then I was like, oh, hello, Dylan, something like that. Like, we were just
He's getting his throat on. Hey, babe, I see you. Hello, Dylan.
Yeah. Like, we were just, I don't know, he was definitely trying a lot. But
did you know, had you seen last year's Love Island? You knew who he was?
I've never watched Love Island. I've only ever seen it through TikTok.
Okay.
But I did know who Dylan was. Like, I saw it all on TikTok and everything. But, like, I definitely wasn't, like, we had a bit of a flirt, but it was definitely a bit one-sided. Like, he was like, well, I got a new place.
He's gonna hate this.
Yeah. But he was like, oh, I've got a new place in Paddington or wherever he was. And I was like, okay. And then he was like, location. Oh, come. I don't think he's living there anymore.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, just censor it out maybe. I don't know.
That's okay, yeah.
But he was like, yeah, come over. I don't know. I need to look at the screenshots, but I remember just palming it off. Like, I was thinking, like, I'm not that easy. Like, who does he think he is to think that he can just message me to come over for a one-night thing? Like, and then I was like, I remember I kept texting him and I was like, why am I even bothering to text this man? Like, he clearly wants nothing else but me in his bed. And so I found it pretty funny when he picked me for the hotel, because I was like, oh, he finally got what he wanted back then. by having me in his bed.
He got nothing in the end.
Yeah,
Fair play to
nothing
you.
in the end.
I think this is why the whole intro was like, oh,
tried
Gabby,
again.
Yana, our queen.
But I think like the DM situation, like we are by the pool for how many hours while they're all at Hotel Amor, and I was like, nah, she's gonna owe it to herself, like, you know. So we had completely the wrong idea the whole time, honestly.
So do you think that those messages and the fact you had this impression of him of, hey babe, I've got a place, come on over, was it equally that? Like, was it more that you were like, no, absolutely not? Or was it just, no, I said what I said to Kye, we have boundaries and that's it?
Look, so I was really happy to be picked by Dylan. I felt out of all the boys, obviously I've been with the boys for so many weeks, but out of all the boys, I had this connection with Dylan where it was like, I felt like we already had something. And so I felt really comfortable being with him. So when I got picked, I was like, oh, hell yeah, like, I'll be happy to spend the night here, but I'm not crossing boundaries because I knew what I had set with Kye and I knew that I wanted to stick to that, and it was nothing to do with me not wanting to do anything. Like, I'm sure if Kye wasn't in the picture, me and Dylan would have tried something, like we would have got to know each other on a deeper level, but I had those boundaries in place and I had Kye in my mind then, so I was like, no, I'm not going to ruin what I've been building for a one-night thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. You come back in, everyone's delighted.
Oh.
The moment before Kye opens the gates, what's in your head?
I can't even remember, like, I was so fucking anxious, and I just remember, well, I don't remember, but I feel like watching it back, like I was just standing there and I was just thinking, one thing I remember saying several times was, whatever happened is a win-win for me. Because if he comes back single, it's a win for me. Obviously, it didn't fit the end story, but if he comes back single, it's a win for me. And if he comes back with another girl, it's also a win for me because I know that
it's done.
It's done, yeah.
That's it, yeah.
But it got a bit messy when he came back single, but then also had something to say.
Well, no, the way we were all screaming and cheering, like, I was like,
watching it back was really sad, like seeing how happy I was for him to come back, just having no idea what he had been up to.
Yeah, and, how happy really everyone was. I feel like that was, you're right, it was kind of a disappointing moment because it was, and one thing that's interesting about Kye is, it split the internet as well. There's 50% of people that are like, this guy is awful, and him and Yana are like trauma bonded. And then other people are like, oh God, he hasn't got the words to articulate himself very well, but we can see he's trying and the cogs are turning very slowly.
And I think one of the biggest things in our past relationship was communication. We never knew how to communicate, and that's why shit went south all the time. Because Kye could never get his words out. He was constantly just giving word vomit. Like, and then I'd be like, wait, like just, it was always so confusing. And you can see that in this episode, like, he just doesn't give me enough, but you can tell he is trying. Like, he's trying to get it out, but he can't communicate.
You did call him on that. You're like, Kye, you got to stop mumbling and use like actual words. I'm really glad you did that. So Mick welcomed Kye. He's come in, you've had your moment. And Mick says to him, I love you, but you're a fuckwit. And Kye says, look, I know I effed up, but I had to do it. I would have hated myself if I didn't do it.
I heard that and I was like, I think, I don't know what to say about that.
Interesting.
Like, I wonder.
That was interesting.
Well, maybe Gabs would have an opinion. Like, I wonder, does being, because it's different because you're exes, but does being on Love Island, does it buy you a little bit of grace? Well, this is the experience and you got to test connections.
I think he definitely would have used that as a bit of an excuse to let himself go by. And I think you can tell as well, like, in the last two episodes, like, he is very bothered with himself and you can see him start getting very vulnerable, and he knows he fucks up, but he wants to navigate it in a way where it was fine and it was normal. But I think he realises that it's not normal and he can't be doing that.
And I also think you guys hadn't, like, spoken about what you were, or, like, I mean, you did set your boundaries, but I think...
Yeah, that's another thing. Like, we weren't officially anything in there, and we did have a conversation that he had selective hearing with up in the Nook, where we said we're open, we can be open, but let's have boundaries where we can't kiss anyone until we come and talk to each other about. And I think he missed the end of that. But yeah.
I'm not sure if it was by accident or by mistake, but he was like, when you were thrashing it out, he was like, yeah, look, I kissed someone by mistake. Was that what he said? Was it mistake or accident?
Accident.
By accident. I kissed someone by accident. Well, what did you think when you heard that?
Again, just word vomit. Like,
Yes.
what? Like, what do you mean by accident?
Yeah. He just couldn't put his words together. He needed to just put his hands in the air and say, I did this, this and this, and I'm sorry, and I did that because I felt like, you know, we were at this point or whatever. But
I wonder, because you've seen, obviously, the episode with Kye and Emma in Hotel Amor, and his basic thing was, apart from the kiss, the shower was the big talking point, because Emma comes in and, the shower got a bit steamy, and his thing was, I was having a shower by myself, I didn't ask her to come in, she kind of joined me. And I think that appears to be true.
I think that's true, yeah. I mean, I only saw so much of what was like 24 hours, but I believe him, and I think one thing with Kye is, as much as he's struggling to get his words out now, once he calms down, he's able to tell me the truth. And that was something in our relationship as well, was every time something would happen where he'd need to be open and honest about, he'd tell me the truth, even if it killed my guts. Like, that was one thing about Kye, and I think that was one reason I always kind of kept going back, and it's a bit toxic, but he would always be so open with his wrongs and what he did wrong. So I'd be like, okay, I believe him. At least he told me the truth, so then I'd go back to him. And I think that's obviously very toxic, but one thing with Kye is he'll always end up telling me the truth once he's had a breath.
Yeah.
And I think you do see that in today's episode, is you can see him slowly starting to get all the truth out once he puts his brain
I do think you genuinely can see it. It's like happening slowly, but you can see he's like grappling with, okay, I need to like man up a bit here.
Yeah.
Emma was on last week and she said she actually felt terrible for you and she felt bad, but I was kind of asking her about lobbing the grenades, you know, like, oh, the shower was steamy and the cuddles were mean. And I think she was kind of saying that was more like an FU to Kye. Did you have any kind of feeling towards Emma or?
Well, when the whole fire pit thing happened, Emma and Jade walked up, and after having a go at Kye a few times, I think I went up to Emma and I was like, hey, I just want to let you know I'm not upset with you. Like, I know that this wasn't, like, I'm not letting you be at fault. I don't know how to put that in words, but I gave her a hug. I said, welcome to the villa. I hope, like, if you need anything, come to me. So I think there was nothing between Emma at this stage. As you go on a bit, I don't know how much they'll show, but there was a little bit more.
A bit more tension or a
bit more tension, yeah, I think coming up to movie night, there was a bit more tension with her. But at the end of the day, it wasn't her fault, it was Kye's. I had boundaries set with Kye, not Emma, so yeah, I had nothing to be angry at her about.
Yeah, amen. Gabby, I mentioned at the start of the chat, you're like, are you going to grill me? How did you feel? Was it a grilling or was it okay? Like, how do you rate my performance as a, you know?
Yeah, no, it was great. I think we're super relaxed and chill. Asked all the right questions. I think the viewers will love it, so.
Oh, great, thank you.
Yeah.
What a high compliment. Well, in that case, I have one more question I want to grill you with.
Yeah, okay, you can grill me. What we do, 5-minute grilling?
Yeah, no, it's not even going to be 5 minutes. Well, it depends how long you answer for. So the big thing was you were at an event. You did throw a little grenade where you said, Jotham had a girlfriend the whole time. He was here last week. We put that to him and he said, wrong. I've had situationships. I've never had a girlfriend before ever.
Sure.
But yeah, sure, I've seen like a few people before the villa and you know, that's kind of what it is. And if Gabby wants to draw a truth from that, okay. But he basically said, that's not true. Would you like to respond?
Yes, I'd love to respond. I've heard what I heard and I stand by everything that I said in that video, so he can say what he wants, but yeah.
Say it louder for people at the back.
I said what I said and I stand by it, guys.
Guys, it's been a roller coaster. Gabby, like I said, I love that you wear your heart on your sleeve and it's been a roller coaster and it has been messy and it has been chaotic, but like, I know there are a legion of people out there who will go, oh, Gabby this, Gabby that, but also a legion of people who like, this girl is awesome and without you, the show would be less. So take that and
100%. And
go
I want to
forward.
be relatable to all the passionate girlies that have big emotions and are hypersensitive just like me. It's okay to be like that and never change for anyone. So. And
also I said, we were chatting before the podcast and I said, I was kind of making this point as well. And I was like, but I'm sure out in the real world, everyone's lovely. And Yana was like, well, everyone's nice about me online too anyway. So you got the best of both worlds.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not getting much hate. And if I am, I don't know, it's just, it doesn't get to me at all, hate. Like, it just doesn't
Ignorance
get to me
is bliss.
anymore. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll wrap it up to say, without both of you and the mad journeys you've both been on and will continue to be on, I'm sure, for another while, the series will be like less than. So I'm so delighted you came in.
You're welcome, guys. We went through a lot.
Much love. Yana and Gabby, everybody.
Oh, yay!
Love Island Australia, the podcast.
Okay, we're delighted now to be joined on the podcast by a lady who I don't think there's ever been someone who has been as meek and mild, maybe not meek, but like polite and mannerly, who has been dead in the centre of a firestorm. Cindy Jade, everybody! Woo! You're so welcome.
Thanks for having me.
This is good fun because I asked before we started rolling, hey, what do you do? Because some of the Islanders, you know, they're influencers or they're in that kind of world anyway, but you work in a proper, serious, corporate, professional job and you might be on the younger side of the workforce. How's it been being on the show?
Honestly, I feel like I really need to try hard and separate my professional life and my personal life. So far, I think it is going well, but I'm also like, to everyone that I work with, please don't watch the show.
But they haven't been like bringing in banners to work saying, go Jane, or hey, I set up a burner account online to support you.
No, not yet. Anyways.
Okay. I mentioned you kind of walked in on the show to an absolute firestorm. And what I've loved about you is you've kind of like, you know, smiled through it, like, happy to be here, you know.
Yeah, honestly, my body was there, but mentally, I was like, what is going on? Jotham did not prepare me for that situation. I walked in so calm, and obviously I knew someone was going to get like hurt and upset, and I was prepared for that. But yeah, I wasn't prepared for that much of a situation.
Interesting. I would have thought he would have really given you, because we didn't see, obviously, you know, you get snippets of Hotel Amor, but you're there for some time. So he didn't tell you were walking into a firestorm.
He said that he's going to be in trouble, and obviously I was like, okay, that's a given. Like, it's never going to be a nice situation of him twisting from his previous partner to me. But he didn't tell me how much trouble he actually would get into. But looking back at it, I actually think it's a good thing, because if I had known how much trouble he was going to get into, I think I would have just been stressed and very not as calm and composed. So I think it's a good thing that he warned me, but not to the extent that he thought it was going to play out.
Yeah, that's fair enough. And although a lot of Gabby's fire was more or less directed at Jotham, but you were standing there. Did you feel uncomfortable with Gabby, or were you like, this is Jotham in the firing line and I'm just along for the ride?
Obviously, it's a very uncomfortable situation, but I did kind of try to remove myself from that situation, because I knew the heat was between Gabby and Jotham. They're the ones that had the connection before, and I obviously came in. I had no idea who Gabby was. I knew that she had a connection with Jotham, but yeah, I just didn't know who she was at all. So I think it was more of a case of them two.
Jump back, because there's a lot of difference of opinion. Jotham's been on the podcast last week, Gabby with us this week, and their versions of events, of how they categorised their relationship, are very different. Mm-hmm. What did Jotham tell you in Hotel Amor about his situation with Gabby? We saw some bits, but I'm sure you talked about it for longer.
Yeah, definitely. So he said that he had a very strong connection back in the villa. He said that they are working through a few things with whether or not they are completely compatible or not. Up until the superfans kiss, he was very respectful, saying, I want to respect Gabby. And that's actually something that I liked about him, because what I want in a partner is to respect the connection. Obviously, Hotel Amor, the superfans made us kiss, and it kind of, our connection started pretty much then.
Some people might say Yana's a good example. That the superfans asked her and Dylan to kiss, and she held out her hand like so. Now, this is nothing, this is not on you, but I guess people might criticise Jotham and go, you're sitting here going, oh, he was so respectful and blah, 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 blah. And then a text comes and goes, oh, my God, they said we got to kiss someone,
Yeah, definitely. I think the main difference is that Yana and Kye had set those boundaries literally that day, where we didn't see on the show Jotham and Gabby setting those boundaries. And yeah, I feel like Jotham and I's spark, it was very how are you real type of thing. We were very much lost in the conversation. So, I mean, I don't blame him for giving me a kiss when the super fans asked.
That's fair. Everybody's who's been through the villa talks about how time a day feels like a week feels like a month, etc. But did you genuinely feel, because Hotel Amor, it's just one night?
Yeah, just one night.
Did you genuinely feel that in that short, concentrated period of time that you can get to know somebody enough? Because you seemed really enthusiastic about him, and it was reciprocated. Like, oh my God, we're really onto something. Like, I can imagine, like, in the real world, that doesn't happen so often.
Yeah, no, definitely
but it was a
not.
genuine two-way thing.
It definitely was a genuine two-way thing. I think it's not that I knew him 100% because I'd only known him for 24 hours. It was more the fact that I was so excited to get to know more of him. And I think we both kind of felt that excitement between us together. We were very like, we couldn't stop laughing. He made me feel so like safe around all of the cameras because obviously Hotel Amor was very much like there's a camera in your face and there's a big fluffy thing up the top. Like it's a like weird environment to be in.
Oh, the microphone. I was like, what's the big fluffy thing?
Yeah, the big fluffy thing. So it's a really weird environment to be in. But I think when we were just talking, I completely like forgot that all the cameras were even there and yeah.
Yeah, and that's.
But yeah, I think it
that's
definitely
not
was
nothing.
a genuine. Yeah.
Yeah, if you feel that comfortable with someone. When you come into the villa, and obviously, there's Gabby is saying her thing. The other girls, they've been on Gabby with the journey. They're on her side. They were disappointed in Jotham. How much of that blew back onto you? Like, I know Emma, like she said on the podcast last week that she felt a bit uncomfortable. And what was your feeling with the girls?
Yeah, definitely. I felt very uncomfortable standing up at that fire pit. Obviously, it's a very stressful.
Like, it would have been uncomfortable regardless.
Yeah,
but,
definitely. Yeah, like as soon as I walked in, every single person at the fire pit was laughing. And it was very much like...
laughing at what? In what sense?
At me and Jotham being like, what the fuck? Like, they thought it was really, like, funny that Jotham had brought me back. And getting that reaction from the girls from the, like, first hand, I felt like... I kind of felt like I was getting a little bit... I don't know. It just wasn't a good environment for me at that fire pit. I felt really uncomfortable.
After the storm subsides a little bit and you get to chat to people, did you feel that reaction was just specific to that moment, or was it still a bit icy? Yeah,
definitely. I think that reaction was specific to that moment, and I could be missing context. They probably, I don't know if they were actually laughing at me specifically, but that's how I felt in the moment. But as we can see, prior to the fire pit, like the girls do come up and say hi and like make me feel welcome. So
yeah, good.
Yeah, but obviously it's going to be a bit icy because I am now with their best friend's ex, essentially. Yeah.
You have been watching back the show to this point, I assume. What have you thought of Gabby and Jotham's relationship? Because again, kind of Gabby, right before he goes to Hotel Amor and meets you, is kind of, I want to have Jotham's babies. This is, my feelings are growing. And he then is kind of going, I'm not sure, and the things need to iron out, and we're always getting into fights. When you look at it, were you surprised Jotham jumped so quickly, or do you see why he did?
I see why Jotham jumped so quickly. Obviously, I think that Jotham and Gabby had like a good thing going on at the start, but as soon as there was problems like the Mia and Boston coming in, that kind of racked up some emotions for Gabby, and I think it just went downhill from there. Watching back on the show, like I can see Jotham's spark like decreasing. I can see that he's not happy in that relationship, and it's, both of them made decisions and had actions that affected that, but yeah, I wasn't surprised watching back that he chose me.
Was there any bits, like, when he went out on the dates and was chatting to Mia, for example, really got under Gabby's skin? Is there anything you've seen where you go, no, I understand Gabby's annoyance there?
I definitely think that she's so valid to feel how she feels and how she's comfortable to feel in that situation. Personally, I probably wouldn't have reacted the way. I kind of viewed Jotham talking to Mia being like, I am in a strong relationship, but I don't know what he said exactly, blah, blah, blah. I feel like Gabby kind of held on to the bad side of that conversation and not him saying that he's in awe of her or that they have a good thing going on.
Yeah. Gabby stormed down. We saw she approaches you and Jotham. She pulls Jotham away for a chat, but before she does that, she was like, guys, the physical in front of me is absolutely crazy. Now, you weren't all over each other, but you were kind of sitting side by side and hand on the leg or whatever it was. Did you feel that was fair or unfair? Like if you were in Gabby's position?
I think that's definitely fair that she came up and didn't want to see us touching. I mean, Jotham and I, like, we're both very, like, physical people, so it's kind of hard not to touch each other, but I, like, totally get why Gabby was upset, and we probably shouldn't have been holding hands or touching legs.
Some people would go, you know, it's Love Island, they've decided to couple up, they don't have to, you know, they weren't all over each other, so it's, hey, they don't have to facilitate Gabby every single step they make.
Yeah, no, I definitely don't have to facilitate Gabby every single time. I just think in that moment, like, shit was already hitting the fan already, so it's like, you know, maybe that we could have had a little bit of social distancing at that time, but yeah.
You and Gabby had a chat, and she basically says to you, look, babe, Jotham is an emotional fuckboy, and you know, he said all these things to me, but his actions said other, and she warned you off him basically.
Yeah.
And you kind of very curtly said, I'll make up my own mind, thank you.
Yeah.
And you left. Was the conversation, because obviously we only see snippets, was the conversation that brief in reality?
It was a pretty brief conversation as it is. I feel like the conversation was more about her kind of warning me off Jotham, where I was in the position where it's like, I really like this guy, I really want to get to know him. I personally, like, have had zero interaction, like, this is my first interaction with you, so I trust my gut, and that's like what I'm going to stick to.
And I've kind of asked you this, but more in the context of this question. When you look back at the show up until this point, do you think he's an emotional fuckboy, there's any validity to that, or she's just a hurt person kind of venting?
I think she's hurt and she's trying to, you know, justify what he did to her. And that's the reason why she's trying to warn me.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. If it hadn't have been Jotham that you had picked for Hotel Amor, was there a second pick? Because we had Emma on last week and she said Kye, but she also was like, oh, Mick, maybe. And, you know, she subsequently told him that. Did you have a second pick?
Honestly, I don't think I did. I was very worried that Jotham was a little bit too closed off, and I talked to the producers, like, I really think that he's too closed off, but I really want to get to know this guy. And I chose to, like, follow my instincts, and I chose him, and if he didn't choose me at the end of the day, I knew that I would, like, stay true to myself and try to explore a connection that I thought was kind of the only one I could see that would go out in the future.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting. Was there any of the other boys that you felt were really going, Jade, pick me, giving you the energy? Okay,
so I remember saying that Mick's giving, like, it was like, fuck, marry, kill. it was like Mick, fuck, Mateo boyfriend material, and Jotham husband material. And then I also was very surprised with Kye. I feel like I had a conversation with Emma after the dates and I was like, Kye just keeps, like, looking at me. So I was like, maybe Kye, but then I knew that she was interested in Kye, so I was like, you have him.
That's tea we haven't heard before. You felt Kye was giving you the eyes.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. And then even, like, after the dates, we were all standing around, I was standing beside him and, like, he just, like, kept on, like, looking up and I was like, I'm not choosing you. Like, you're fucking trouble.
Did he do the tongue, the lizard tongue?
I didn't even know. I didn't even know that he did that.
Okay. This is the never-ending saga. So it started with a video Gabby did where she said Jotham had a girlfriend. Jotham was on the podcast last week. He said, absolutely not true. You're in the thick of it. What's your response and what do you know?
Honestly, I feel like it's pretty obvious to know her intent behind why she did what she did, knowing that I would be coming into the villa and Jotham twisting with me. Jotham stated that that statement wasn't true, and yeah, I feel like that's all I have to say about it.
Diplomatically done. I like it. Like I said, I've never seen someone in the absolute eye of a storm be so calm and just kind of smile politely, and, you know, it's kind of almost like a royalty vibe, you know, the hand wave. You've only been in the villa a short time, so that's kind of all the road we can cover, but I'm really excited to see where you and Jotham go on the journey. And I wonder if one day you and Gabby will be BFFs. Can you see a world in where the two of you go shopping for dresses down the line? Or it could be, hey, that's maybe not. I'm sorry for saying dresses. It doesn't have to be something feminine. It could be for power tools to build a wall.
At the moment, I'm gonna say no. I don't think there's a world where me and Gabby would be friends. Obviously, I'm always gonna be nice to her and ask her how she is. But yeah, I just feel like we're not in a situation to be friends right now.
That's fair. Elegantly put. Jaide, you're a star. Thank you so much for coming in. Jaide, everybody!